This is here Elena. It's the middle of the night. It's about more than 2 a.m. right now in Kiev, and I have just talked to one American channel for the interview, and this helped me to put my mind together and talk to you, to tell you what I feel about the peace agreements that we had today. We are all hoping for the peace. Yes, and peace is everything that Ukraine needs, most of all. We need real peace. Yeah, the peace that we had before Russia attacked Ukraine 8 years ago. Before they took Crimea, before they invaded the east of Ukraine 8 years ago. And before what had happened, on the 24th of February this year too. We need peace, we want peace. The problem is we and Russia understand what peace is in a very different way. The problem is that for Russia, peace with Ukraine means no Ukraine as a separate state, people here speaking Russian instead of Ukrainian, no Ukrainians as a nation. Yeah. Identifying yourself as Ukrainian in Ukraine will not mean peace for Russia, unfortunately, right now. Looks like 70% of people over there still support Putin and his attack on Ukraine, and this propaganda that they hear from TV that Ukrainians are not a separate people, but we are one people. And if some Ukrainians think they are separate people, that means they are Nazi and they should be denazificated, which means they should be killed. And this is what they are doing right now in Ukraine. Yes, they come by force. They are killing us from the air, from the ground. They are launching missiles from the territory of Belarus, from the territory of the Black Sea, hitting residential areas, hitting maternity houses, hospitals, kindergartens, schools, and saying that they are hitting only military infrastructure and telling that these are Ukrainian forces, Ukrainians who are killing themselves. This is why we have so many casualties. This is what they say on TV. And they are saying that, keep saying that Ukrainians are Nazi. And now they are telling as well, after this economical sanctions started to work, that Europeans are Nazi too, because there is a lot of Russophobia in Europe, in America, and Russian people are attacked unfairly. They do not say why they are attacked, separate people in Europe, why they are discriminated, they say, why some of them are fired, why blood is on the embassy of Russia in Prague, for example. Why? No, they did not explain that maybe Russian authorities did something wrong in Ukraine. They just say Russians are attacked, so it's not fair. So now, guess what? Europe should be denazificated, right? But again, I'm talking about things that I didn't want to talk about. I'm trying to, now I will tell you what I think about peace agreements. Peace agreement with Russia that we had like today. First of all, nothing was signed in Istanbul, in Turkey. Yes, so no documents were signed. Two parts met for some negotiations. Each time when Ukrainian and Russian delegations meet each other and have some peace negotiations, we here expect in Ukraine more bombardment, more attacks from Russia. This is like a kind of Russian tradition. This happened 8 years ago when the war started, when Russia invaded the east of Ukraine. Each time when they were inviting or coming for peace negotiations, they were hitting even more hard, you know, for us to discuss peace agreement in a more effective way. Yeah, and this is what happens right now. Russian troops are on the territory of Ukraine. They are bombarding all the regions of Ukraine. You know, today air siren was sounding everywhere in Ukraine, even in Lviv, in Ivano-Frankivsk, you know, in Khmelnytsky, in the territories where we thought it was safer. You know, where people, half of Kiev moved away, uh, some people to abroad, but many people of Ukraine did not go like abroad, but they were settled within Ukraine to the west of Ukraine because maybe it is safer. It's safer in terms of the troops on the ground, but you know, the missiles strike whatever they want. Even Lviv in the west of Ukraine was hit recently. So this is how they talk. Yeah, they put more pressure with their troops, with their weapons, and talk about peace. So each peace negotiations bring a lot of tension, fear maybe. But now we are ready for this. At least we do not have any illusions about peace negotiations. But the same goes for humanitarian corridors. They say humanitarian corridor to evacuate civil population is not a reason to stop shooting. So they keep shooting and keep killing people even in those corridors. So peace negotiations is not the reason to stop shooting for them. And we have to understand clearly. What will be the reason for Putin to stop shooting? If Ukraine totally surrender, comes under his total control, yeah? Or maybe if he loses too much of the soldiers on the ground, too much of the missiles, too much of helicopters and airplanes, and he will think, okay, I will need some time to accumulate more of weapons, to bring more soldiers from Syria, from maybe to bring maybe more weapons from somewhere, to bring more meat, meaning soldiers, from Russia. So I need time. So I will play in this political game, in these negotiations. This is really the chess game. Yes, looks like Ukrainian delegation plays in the chess game, and the other countries play the chess game too. I do not understand what this, what exactly happened today. I cannot discuss point by point what they agreed. Right now, if you look the Ukrainian Facebook, each Ukrainian, expresses his or her opinion. We are a very democratic society, really. And, if before people were so much united, like in terms of the war against Russia, right now they're like, okay, and now let's discuss. Many people blame Ukrainian delegations for being too weak. They say, or you betrayed the interest of Ukraine. How you can say no to NATO, we need to go to NATO. The others say, oh no, NATO betrayed us, they didn't close the sky, they didn't give us very effective weapons and meaningful help, so we cannot, it's okay not to go to NATO. Now we are talking about any referendum and so on. So a lot of political discussions, but it's fine. This is a normal process for our country. Yeah, this is a normal state when you have many opinions and you discuss. But the basic point, what the president said, that our sovereignty is still our priority. Yes, our sovereignty and territorial integrity. And we can sign any peace agreements only after Russia can withdraw its troops to where they have been before the 24th of February. That is already a big compromise because I feel that many soldiers, the army here is ready to fight, till the end, really, to fight away people from Donbass and Crimea too. But looks like the politicians are not ready for this. Maybe because they know more than the army. This is why they are politicians. This is why the army is not deciding. It's not deciding what to do, whether it is good or bad. So we are still in this very long process, maybe in the middle of the process. But what I liked is that Joe Biden called Putin a butcher. I think this is exactly what Putin is. He is a criminal. He is a terrorist. I was more demanding in the beginning. I said that you should not discuss anything with a terrorist. You cannot, negotiate with a criminal. The criminal needs to be punished. But okay, maybe this terrorist and criminal is having a lot of weapons, and the whole planet is under threat. So we need to be more find the way how to arrest him. But for me, the tribunal is the only way how you can discuss anything with Putin. And whatever Russia promises, Russia cannot be trusted, at least with the regime that they have right now. I will repeat myself again. Before the war, before the attack in February, they were saying they were having just military trainings, and they attacked. Later, they said they will hit only military infrastructure, and they starting hitting residential buildings, maternity hospitals, just hospitals, schools, kindergartens, drama theater in Mariupol. Hundreds of people died. It was written children with big letters next to the building, and Russians dropped a bomb directly on the drama theater in Mariupol. Russia cannot be trusted. Putin cannot be trusted. They keep lying right now to their people about what's happening in Ukraine. They keep lying to everybody. So if they promise not to attack Ukraine anymore, it doesn't mean that they will not. It just means that right now they do not have enough of weapons to do this. Maybe the nuclear weapons became too rusty and they cannot use it. Maybe they do not really have enough of chemical weapon to destroy Ukraine. This is why it's not used. I don't know. But Russia cannot be trusted. Now Ukraine wants to have some guarantees from some, top players of the game, that in case if Russia, Russia promises not to attack, let's pretend we believe it. But what if it does? Can we have some kind of guarantees that the other countries will be involved, not just providing us helmets and humanitarian aid and taking refugees, but giving us some meaningful help, basically, to stop this attack and protect our country, protect our people, because we are the wall, we are the gates of Europe. We are protecting right now with our bodies the security in the whole world. So will we have any meaningful support, like weapons, like direct engagements, like in NATO? If a member of a NATO will be attacked, the others are supposed to really help, to be engaged. So can we have some agreement like this. But you know, we have right now the joke that if a member of NATO is attacked, in this case, this country will be out of NATO. That much they are afraid of Putin. People are quite skeptical about any kind of disagreements because, I mean, Budapest Agreement didn't work. NATO decided that they do not want to be engaged. UN Security Council, well, again, deep concerns, condolences, and and so on. Only words, words, words. Like, people are quite skeptical about whether the new agreement will work, but it should work. It should work, right? Some optimistic news is that Ukrainian troops kicked out Russians from Irpin. This is the nearest town to Kiev. Irpin was a small town. It was so lovely. It was full of parks. It had the Ukrainian Guinness record in terms of how many parks it has, the small city has in it. It's very green, very beautiful, very lovely. You know, some of you maybe even visited Irpin because it is often recommended for foreigners who want to be retired in Ukraine to buy some property over there because it's a very nice satellite town. So Russians came over there and destroyed everything. They burnt it, everything. Yeah, even yesterday, Ukrainian mayor of Irpin, he reported that Russians were kicked out of the town. Looks like today Russians are moving somewhere from Kiev. So Kiev was not taken by Russians. Ukrainian soldiers, Ukrainian army, Ukrainian people, we protect, and you who supported us everywhere in the world, we together, we protected Kiev. But unfortunately, we still cannot protect enough Mariupol. The situation over there is awful. We still have their people. And the east of Ukraine is still under, you know, like some good positive process kind of just started. So it's too early to celebrate, of course. And there is not much to celebrate, basically. So we need more resistance and so on. You see, when Russia, I agree, they still want Kiev. Yes, that's the thing. When 8 years ago they occupied Crimea and they occupied the east of Ukraine, pretending it's not them, it's not us, we are not there, it's not our Russian tanks and weapons over there. Why they came to the east of Ukraine? I hope you all understand. I hope like my audience is intelligent. So I'm sure you understand they 8 years ago Russian did it not to protect any Russian-speaking population over there in the east of Ukraine. They don't give a fuck on Russian-speaking population. Look what they have done in Mariupol, in Kharkiv. Just killing people. And these people are Russian-speaking. The east of Ukraine is totally Russian-speaking. So the reason why they came to the east of Ukraine is just, you know, to settle over there and later to move forward to Kiev. Their aim is just to take Kiev, to take all of Ukraine. They just don't want Ukraine to be not only independent, no, they just don't want Ukraine to be. They want just it to be a part of Russia, and they want the history of Ukraine to make it the history of Russia. And this is a very long battle that lasts for about 1,000 years already. It is not something new. But our aim is to stay independent, to stay Ukrainians, and looks like right now we have very good chances to survive, to resist, to stay and to become even stronger after this war as a nation. And the fact that right now the whole world supports us, this is something really cool. This is good. So thank you very much for your support. What Russians have done in Mariupol and other places will never be forgotten and will never be forgiven. Brian, I hope that someone will remove Putin from power too, but looks like it's not happening right now. I'm very disappointed with Russian population, with Russian people. They do not do enough to stop him, and looks like the most of them are even, like, wow, they are very much engaged with what Putin is making here. Looks like Russian mentality is like this. Yeah, we'll see. But it's funny that they came to Ukraine for denazification, but what they have done is the Russification here. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. You see, I don't think that I'm a big expert, a political expert. You see, there are many people who say what they really think, and they are more intelligent than me. I am really just, just a woman, a mother of 3 children. Well, I know a little because I was a journalist, I'm a tour guide, so I know a little, but I can be wrong too. Yes, I just express my subjective opinion because you want to know my opinion. This is my opinion, and for me it's very interesting. It's very interesting to read what you think about this, what's happening right now. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Now I will come back to the room to my children and try to sleep a little till the morning, and hope to see you soon. Thank you, guys. So much of support from you. So much of support. Thank you. На добраніч. На добраніч. Good night. Слава Україні!